Hey there, folks. I'm Eric Osberg, and I am the Rural Rebound Initiative Coordinator for Otter Tail County, and we're here once again with another what we like to call Better Together segment. And joining me now is Sue Huebch. And Sue, you are part of a effort in Perham to sew masks for local healthcare facilities. Can you tell us how this mask sewing effort got started?
I am one of about probably 50 or maybe 100 people that are sewing masks for Perm Health. I don't even know how many because we're all working with trees where we reach out to other people. But we got the idea from some people over by Hudson, Wisconsin that were sewing masks for hospitals in the Twin Cities. We saw the idea on Facebook. I reached out to Chuck at Perm Health, and he said, get organized. And so we did. We've sewn masks for area nursing homes, and now we're really ramping up efforts to sew more for Perm Health.
And do you have a couple of the masks with you at the moment?
We do. I've got all kinds of them that I've got different ones that we're sewing, and I'd love to talk more about that because what we're learning is that there's a lot of different patterns going around on Facebook right now, especially on how to sew face masks at home. And what Perm Health and in Perm that we really need is the pattern that Blue Cross Blue Shield is putting out. Some of the face masks that you see, the patterns that you see online, include an insert where you could put in a little filter. Well, we don't use those filters here in Perm, so that pattern doesn't work for us here. But the pattern that Blue Cross Blue Shield has out works great. The other thing that's important to follow on their pattern, if you're lucky enough, we're encouraging people to use the fabric stash they have at home. If you have elastic, the pattern calls for elastic, and it says round elastic, 1/8 inch width or 1/4 inch width. Please don't go any wider than that, because when someone puts it around their ears, after wearing it for hours, it's really irritating, and some nurses are even getting sore ears that are bleeding. So if you run out of elastic, we are also sewing ones with ties that come from the corners. And what we've learned again is that the ties should be about 18 inches long. You've got to get them on each of the 4 corners of your masks. And ideally, you just sew it in just a little bit from the corner so that when someone's wearing it, there isn't a gap on the side.
I'm impressed. Those are they look technically sound, and so like, when did you personally start sewing these? Was it last week, or when did you start cranking them out?
You know, I started slowly sewing them during the middle of the week, and then we heard over the weekend that the regulations and guidelines had changed for nursing homes and the hospital, and so they were going to need more of these, and so they asked us to sew faster. So that's why we're so glad you contacted us, and we'd like to encourage anybody out there that has a sewing machine and a fabric stash at home to please help join us. We really need a lot of people wearing these. And if you make so many and you don't know how to get them into Perm Health or to your local hospital, call and ask ahead of time if they need them. But maybe the grocery store volunteer or the pizza delivery guy also might really appreciate this mask. But
and so that was, what's that?
Please use the Blue Cross pattern. I know you're going to put it on the website at the end, and that's just it works for our area, and they've designed it. A doctor who's also a quilter designed the pattern for North Memorial Hospital in the cities, and that's the one we're all using.
So I guess my next question is, so let's say I have the means and the abilities, right? I'm a seamstress or a sewer, and I have the stuff. Who do I reach out to, or how do I get them to the right people? Should I don't want to bog down the healthcare system at this time, but who can I reach out to get them out there in the public, I guess?
If anybody has any questions, they can message me. Eric, I've sent you the link for an instructional video that people can watch that shows some doctors from the Twin Cities sewing these. Locally, once you've finished your masks and you want to drop them off, Perm Health has a loading dock in the back of the hospital. So you drive around back there, there'll be a ramp, and at the top of that ramp, there's going to be a gray bin. And so Monday through Friday, 8 in the morning till 5 p.m., there's going to be a bin out there, and you just go up, drop your masks in. Please have them in a plastic bag, and they'd love it if you put your name in the bag with and your address, because they'd like to send you a thank you. We really appreciate everybody that's helping sew.
And again, you said this kind of in the beginning, but any idea how many people right now are part of this effort?
Oh, it's a fantastic team. Word has spread. So it kind of started with a lot of people that were employees or friends of Bay Window Quilt Shop. And so that's the core group. And they all know so many quilters, and word has spread from there. They roped in the Quilts of Valor team that sew all the quilts that go to soldiers. We had someone reach out that's a teacher at Wadena Deer Creek, Sheila Winkle. She's got her students sewing. Someone from the extension reached out, and she's got the 4-H kids ramping up and they're sewing. So we really have a huge group of local people. Last night I had the marketing person from Arvix contact me. She wanted to sew too. So as more people are working from home and have little time, we're getting all kinds of volunteers. It's really fantastic.
That is fantastic. And you could still use more though. That's correct.
We do need more because as everybody's figuring this out as they go, and things could change. We're using this pattern right now, but if we get new guidance from the hospital that says, hey, we need you to sew this instead, we'll quickly change. So please watch, and we'll stay in touch.
All right. Well, thanks for taking time to chat with us, and thanks for proving once again that we can all be better together. Anything else that you want to add before we sign off here?
No, just please have people use the pattern from Blue Cross Blue Shield that we'll put on at the end. That's what works here.
All right. Well, thanks again for the time, and best of luck in your efforts.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you.